Across the rolling hills and sand dunes of the north coast of Northern Ireland lies Royal Portrush Golf Club, a course that has challenged many of the world's top players and where only golfers of the highest skill and wit can win. With undulating greens, unpredictable weather conditions and deep rough that can only be described as a golfer's nightmare, Royal Portrush truly has it all. On the 17th of July, top players from around the world such as Rory McIlroy, Scotty Scheffler and Shane Lowry will be coming right here to see who can lift the Claret Jug. We caught up with head professional of Royal Portrush, Gary McNeil, as he takes us through some of the most beautiful and challenging holes on this golf course. So Gary, we are currently at the fourth hole and you mentioned to me that there's been a few renovations on this hole to maybe make it a wee bit more challenging for the professionals. Can you just give me a rundown of the hole and sort of what it entails?
Well, first of all, this is the stroke index 1 for the members, so this is ranked as the toughest hole on the course for them. The new tee, which has been put in here since 2019, takes the hole just over 500 yards now, so it's added, roughly kind of 30 yards to it. Now, firstly, that's going to bring the bunkers on the left-hand side into play from the tee shot for the players. Previously in 2019, they were whizzing it past those bunkers there. They weren't really coming into play. They weren't bothering the players. So that's going to be a challenge off the tee. And also, we've got the boundary down the right-hand side as well. So that also makes this a very difficult, tight, challenging tee shot. And then the second shot is, plays a little bit uphill into a green which is kind of nestled in amongst the sand hills there as well, and not an easy target to hit. So it's a tough par 4, as I said, over 500 yards now. So this is going to provide a good early test for them early in the round. So with the tee being that extra 30 yards back, do you expect a lot more players are maybe going to take a 3-wood to this, play it a wee bit more strategically? Yeah, well, I think that'll all depend on the conditions. It'll all depend on the weather on the day and the wind direction as well. A 3-wood certainly might take the bunkers out of play. Similarly, they might feel that if the wind is in a certain direction, they might be able to, go ahead and attack the hole a little bit more with driver and try to get it past those bunkers there. So decisions need to be made here. So as I said, it's still early in the round. The players are sort of still settling in, and as I said, this is it's a tough early par 4 and a hole that I'd say the vast majority of the field would be very happy with 4 4s here if they could get them. Hitting into this green's going to be incredibly difficult because if you don't make that bank properly, your ball's just going to run away from you. And also I can see in the green, it sort of is a bowl in a way. Everything's running towards this end. That's right. I mean, this is a feature of a lot of the holes here on the Dunluce Links with a false front, where anything short, as you quite rightly said, tends to sort of wander back down away from the putting surface. Yes, it's a narrow entrance. We've got sort of mounding on both sides here, with rough on it, rough grass. So it's not an easy approach. The shot ideally is sort of into the back section of the green to take the problems that are at the front out of play, and there is some mounding there and some slopes which actually gather the ball in at the back right hand side, but it's not a big target. Not an easy one either. It's considering it's over 500 yards par 4. The players could find themselves going in here with a longish club or longish iron into this green, or even a hybrid club, just to deal with this one. But a very significant hole back in 2019 because after a pretty shaky start, Shane Lowry steadied the ship here, made his first birdie here on the 4th hole. The pin was cut over on the left-hand side, where it can be partially hidden there as well. The players can sometimes don't get to see the flag depending where they are on the fairway. But he managed to get it to within 10 feet and hold it for his first birdie, and then followed it up with a birdie on the 5th as well. And that sort of seemed to settle the nerves, and the rest is history after that. It takes 2 very good shots to reach the putting surface, then you have a tricky green then as well on top of that. So you can see why it's a stroke index 1. We have just come off the 4th. We are now in the 5th, and you're telling me that this is a high risk, high reward hole. Yeah. So having 2 holes back to back that are
quite difficult and quite challenging. It must put a lot of pressure on the players.
Well, yeah, I mean, I suppose the players will look at this one here at under 400 yards. I mean, this is just over 380 yards, and it plays slightly downhill as well. You know, the players are going to be looking at a hole like this and thinking, right, this is a hole where potentially we can maybe gain a shot, you know, pick up a birdie here. And that's certainly what happened in 2019. So we had a sort of a southerly wind through the week, certainly early in the week, and the players were able to, you know, hit their drives down on the green. Some actually went over the green too far and went out of bounds because the boundary is just literally at the back edge of the putting surface down here. But so it's you know, if they take it on and pull off a good shot, then potentially yes, they can make birdie. But if they get in the wrong place here, they can really pay the price. So
because I can see bunkers on both sides, deep rough, even just on your way to the hole.
That's right.
I'm sure as an average player, whenever they're standing at that tee box looking at that rough, they're just hoping that they're not going to chunk it.
That's right. Well, it is. I mean, and certainly the line to the green, there's a lot of rough to carry there. I mean, the players play this, or the members play this as a sort of a slight dog leg, so they'll play a little bit more to the left. There's a little hill there with a white stone on it, which is a good line for a lot of players here, just to play off to the left and play safe, and then you know, a slightly longer approach shot into the green. But as I said, the players will be looking at this one, really thinking this is one that they can gain a shot on.
They can tackle.
Yeah. This is the thing about here. It's the setting and it's the scenery as well. As you know, you've got a fantastic golf course, but you've got this setting, and you've got these elevation changes that allow you to see, you know, the sea. You can see across the Donegal, over to Scotland, right along the coastline here. It's brilliant. Yeah. Probably my favourite hole on the course, you know, because this is just such a nice place to sort of, you never get tired of that view. You know.
So we've come from the beautiful and scenic fifth hole, and we are now at the seventh now. When I played this course many years ago, this hole didn't exist. It only came about in 2016, just before the last Open. So tell us a wee bit about why this hole in particular is so challenging.
Yeah, well, yeah, as you said, this is one of the two new holes that went in, and this was really the you know, ahead of the Open Championship when the R&A came to assess Royal Portrush. They felt that they needed the piece of ground where the old 17th and 18th holes used to lie to accommodate the infrastructure and the tended village and so on. But then the proposal was that they built two new holes out here.
Yep.
And this hole formed part of the Valley Links, which is, you know, our second course here at Royal Portrush. And this is the seventh, and then the eighth hole was through new ground. So the holes opened in 2017, 2018 we hosted the boys amateur championship, and then 2019 of course the Open. So but they fitted in beautifully, and we were very lucky that, you know, we were able to do what we've done here and build two, you know, exceptional holes in arguably the most scenic part of the golf course here, with all those sort of natural dunes and dunescape and the terrain down here that we're playing into. So, but a very challenging hole, 606 yards now. Yeah. This is a new tee that we're standing on. So in 2019, the players played from just down in here. And this new tee, a little bit like the fourth hole, actually brings particularly the bunker on the right-hand side, really brings that into play for the players. So if they're ever so slightly right, they'll find themselves in there from this tee here. But a very strong par 5. It's got length, it's got difficulty. As you get closer to the green, it gets quite narrow as you play up into the green there as well. And then the green itself has had a few alterations since 2019 as well. The back section of that green has been levelled out a little bit more, so that it will allow for more flag positions up at the back during the championship. Once again, you know, every par 5, you know, for the top professionals in golf, every par 5 they'll see as a hole where potentially they can they can pick up a birdie. But this one is going to test them here, and you know, they'll I think you know, birdies are going to be hard to come by on this one, I think. But yeah, it's
definitely, as you say, especially with that bunker, it's kind of reminded me of the old 17th hole.
That's exactly.
And the gigantic bunker
That's
there.
right, that's
so
right.
it's given me the same.
Yeah.
So I'm going to imagine it's incredibly hard to hit out of.
It is, yes, and yeah, that was really why that bunker ended up there. And Martin Ebert, the golf course architect who designed this hole here, he felt that the Big Nelly bunker on the 17th was such a feature, and he wanted to try to recreate something similar to that here, which and he's done a wonderful job with it too. So visually, it's right there when you're
right
stood
in your
on the
eye
tee.
line. It's almost intimidating
Exactly.
when you look at it. Do you see the size of this? Okay. Oh, right into the face. 7th hole, 7th green. As you said, there's 3 bunkers on the approach. There's sand dunes on both sides. It's a very narrow entry. And then this green, there's dipping on all sides. So how do you think the players are going to approach this green in particular?
Well, I think, the second shot, as you were saying, playing up into this area here is quite narrow, so they do need to be accurate. If they get themselves in here into the mouth of the green, you'll see them, they'll be able to either play a chip and run shot to access, the flag positions. They might even play something with a little bit of loft on it as well. They've got lots of options when they get in close to the green here. Even the little, fallaways just around both sides. There's all sorts of little humps and hollows and swales around this green. So, the players have got options, and that's what they like on a links golf course.
So, 16th Calamity. This is a very famous hole on this golf course. As we can see, you have to hit over this gigantic amount of rough. If the wind's blowing, as it is today, your ball's just being led straight over this right-hand side.
Yeah.
How do you think the players are going to attack this hole? Give me a rundown.
Well, this is our most notorious hole, Calamity Corner, and up until sort of 2015, 2016, it was played from this tee down below us here, and the hole stretched out to about 210 yards or thereabouts. But this new teeing ground went in ahead of the Open in 2019, which takes it back. I mean, at full stretch now, it's 236 yards from back here, which is a real brute of a par 3 anyway. But then you factor in, this great chasm that you're playing over here with all this horrendous rough. The green looks very small from way back here as well.
It does indeed. You can almost barely even see it from back here because it's just blending in so much.
It's such a challenging hole. It doesn't have any bunkers, and it certainly doesn't need any. The only way to kind of approach this is to take it, up the left half of the green, really, and I think that's where the players will be aiming. They'll be taking a line on the left half of the green and playing in there, to the left of the green there's a little hollow where it's named after Bobby Locke, who in 1951, when he was the probably the best player in golf at that time, he decided that that's where he was going to aim, was just up the left side of the green, and as legend has it, that's where he made his par from each day as well. So that little hollow to the left of the green is kind of a little safe spot. But there's no good news on the right hand side. I mean, everything falls down very, very steeply, 40 feet or 50 feet below the green probably down there, and you're not going to get a good spot. You're not going to get a good line down there either. So it's left or right is to be avoided at all costs.
It's situated high up high in the sky. You're overlooking the valley course, which is right beside us.
Yeah.
What approach are the players going to take? on this green? Obviously you've got Bobby's Hollow there.
Yeah.
Is that going to be always the aim for them, do you reckon?
Well, it's going to, yeah, I mean, the members will certainly play, you know, they'll aim up the left-hand side of the green here, you know, and if they finish in there, they're quite happy. Most of them will just, you know, put it up onto the green from there. I mean, during the championship, if competitors find themselves in there, they've got the option to put it out, or they might choose to play a, you know, a little wedge out of there, or sand wedge or something like that.
We're at the 18th hole, the final hole, and as we can see, there's a ginormous grandstand behind us. Having that there whenever you're hitting off a tee shot must be absolutely daunting for the players coming here.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's you know, from the elevated position here, I mean, this is a wonderful finishing hole now, and you know, you mentioned the grandstand, and the way the green is located, it allows for a grandstand which completely kind of you know, encompasses the entire green. It's like a horseshoe shape all around. They can't do that at every venue because a lot of the finishing holes perhaps have a clubhouse behind the green or something which will break that up. But, so there was a tremendous atmosphere here in 2019. So the grandstand build is very similar to what it was then. The corporate hospitality on the left hand side is now in place as well. It's a real arena that they're playing down into here from this tee, and they get the fantastic view from up here on where the championship tee position is. But it's over 470 yards from up here, so this is a tough finishing hole. You know, if a competitor needs to make a par on the final hole to win the championship, it's going to be they're going to have to be on their game. They're going to hit a good tee shot, get it into position, and then hit a good second shot up into the green and hopefully get their par.
Then putt. Any predictions for who that might be?
Well, I suppose Rory's the obvious choice, really. When you go back to April, what he did, completing his career Grand Slam at Augusta National, winning the Masters. He's going to come here hopefully play with a lot of freedom, having got that final major championship to complete his Grand Slam. So, and I know that winning an Open Championship on home soil would be top of Rory's list of priorities now. Shane Lowry is, he's in good form as well, and having won here in 2019, Shane is a very inspirational player. There's a lot of home players and European players that are in good form at the moment. You've Justin Rose came close at Augusta. Tyrrell Hatton as well had a good US Open, as did Robert McIntyre from Scotland, who finished in the top half dozen here the last time as well. So there's a lot of home players who are going to be fancying their chances here. But they've all got to beat Scotty Scheffler, the world number one.
He's hard to beat.
He is hard to beat, and he's such a strong player. And although he won't have played a whole lot of links golf, and certainly it'll be potentially the first time that he'll be contending in an Open Championship here in Royal Portrush. So they've all got to come, they've all got to do their preparation, they've all got to try to learn the golf course in the few days that they have available to them for their practice rounds, and come up with a plan as to how they're going to approach the golf course. So it'll be very interesting to see it. Who knows, somebody could come out of the pack.
So 18th green, where are the pin positions, do you reckon they will be? Okay,
well the most challenging ones are along the left side of the green here. So I know they had a back left flag certainly on the Saturday of the Open the last time it was here, and that obviously brings these contours into play here on the left hand side. So it's a steep slope down running away from the green, and that's not an easy place to make par from down there. So and quite a narrow entrance into the green here as well. So there's not a lot of undulation in the back section of the green here, but there is on the front and on the right hand side. But so subtle undulations. And I think once again, there's just one bunker on the front right hand corner of the green here. So but then there's enough going on. It doesn't need a whole lot of other hazards or penalty areas there for the players. So narrow entrance, and I think if the players get their tee shot into position here, they'll be, you know, most of them will be very happy making par here as well.
Well, thank you very much, Gary, for taking us around this amazing course today. We can't wait for the Open. I'm sure it's going to be amazing.
Yep, it will be.
What a golf course. As you can see, this golf course is truly a test of skill and a test of mental endurance for all of the players arriving here in the next few days. We are going to be here at the British Open all week, so make sure you keep up to date with us on all of our feeds and all of our channels. We'll see you there.